This really got started a year and a half ago. I was at a volleyball game. I coach volleyball here, and one of our parents gave me like a thing of balloons. What am I gonna do with these? I'm like, oh, I know. I'm like, I'll have them randomly delivered to a teacher with some cryptic note. And this was when I was at the middle school. It was suggested to me that I send them to this new teacher in the building, Lucas Affelbeck. And so we attached a note that said, roses are red, violets are blue, poems are hard, bacon, and just sent it to him. And the whole day he was convinced that it was one of his football players, and he was interrogating them in the hallway, like, what do you know about balloons? And he started to get really weirded out. I'm like, well, that was really fun. I'm like, we're gonna do something every month. And so it became a thing where we pranked Mr. Affelbeck every single month, and it was glorious.
I think it started in September, and they did every single month up until May. So every month they got me with something new and random.
And so we had 200 One Direction fan club quizzes on his desk.
I get into my first period class, and we always have our announcements to start things off here at the middle school, and I hear that if you're interested in this One Direction fan club, to please see Mr. Affelbeck. I was just getting bombarded by students who I did not know at all to start this One Direction fan club. I had a little survey about One Direction. It really took off that day, and yeah, it definitely caught me by surprise. And so I had a poster in my room, and Miss Schoenrock just set it up very nice to make my day very enjoyable.
And then my favorite was in May when we had a celebration of it all, and we did a Lucas Affelbeck Appreciation Day, and we had like a ribbon cutting with the principal.
Lucas Affelbeck Appreciation Day, Westside Middle School, May 20th, 2016. And so I hereby decree that May 20th on every year hereafter will be Lucas Affelbeck Appreciation Day. Congratulations.
On one of our last days, I was sitting eating breakfast, and Miss Schoenrock gets up, and I already knew that it was going to involve me. And so I got to look up at our monitor. I think every slide that they had for the lunch menu, for different things, included my face in some way. Sometimes it was an entire screen. It was a really fun day, and it was also just kind of a rewarding day to have some of my students and athletes as well, just writing notes, telling me, that they appreciate me. So, that's always a good feeling to know that you've done something meaningful.
So then when I came up to the high school, I'm like, well, that's the type of culture I want to work in. And so I started doing little things like photobomb Felicia. I had a friend that posted online that she was getting rid of a child-sized mannequin. I'm like, well, I could use that. And so I messaged her, I'm like, I'll take it. And so we brought her here and we dressed her up, and then we like pop her up creepily behind teachers, and I caption the photo and send it out, usually on Fridays. And then lately I've been doing this thing with an air horn or like a squeaky toy where we go up and squeak and film someone. I think that like culture, like in where you work, is really important. I mean, I look at people like, Ellen DeGeneres and Jimmy Kimmel, who, they prank, their guests and people, but it's all like good-naturedly. It's never meant, to be mean-spirited. I just think if I'm going to spend the majority of my time someplace, like I want it to be an atmosphere where, people want to work.
It's always good to have that type of staff personality whenever you're working, and so it just makes the atmosphere more enjoyable, and it just kind of brings that positive tone to the day. Everyone always asked me if I was getting tired of it, or if I was, what I was going to do to rebuttal, and I always said I was going to find the right time and find something that was going to be, worthwhile, and not just a prank to be a prank, but something that could really, get her back. And for all the pranks that I have had to take in over my time. So still waiting for that right time to find one that would be worthwhile.